Hello friends, we will be taking a hypothetical $100 and trying to make a really nice Betta tank from that. I know that a lot of times we have to really work on a budget, so I wanted to show you how I do so by taking a hypothetical $100 and trying to get as much as I can out of it. Now, I know that sometimes you may have a lower budget than $100, but I really feel like for $100, you will be able to get all of the essential equipment plus a little bit of decor. If you are working on a budget, do not feel like you must deck it out completely. You must fill it with plants, you must fill it with wood. You absolutely can do these things. However, if you're working on a budget, feel free to just get a few things at once and then scale up with time. Lots of Betta fish keepers, including myself, have done that, so don't feel guilty. If you have to just start out with a few things, it's absolutely okay, and you need to give yourself a little bit of mercy in that area. Keep in mind that the essential equipment you'll need are a tank, substrate, a filter, a heater, a light, and a few plants. These could be fake or live. I will go over both in this video. Anything else really is an extra and does not have to be added right away. Okay, let's just get started. I will be doing all of this on my computer here so that you will be able to see, so that you may follow along. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first we are going to need a tank, obviously. You cannot do anything without a tank, so we'll start with the tank first. There are many different places that you could look. You can go somewhere like petco.com. Here I am at petco.com. Now I am using a different location than where I currently live. Supplies will probably vary where you are and whether or not you can pick up or have something delivered to you. But here on petco.com, I did find a 10-gallon standard rectangular tank for $12.49, and it is actually on sale right now. It is 50% off. So usually these tanks are about $25 both in store and online. But my preferred place to refer to when looking for a tank on budget would be Facebook Marketplace. I love Facebook Marketplace. You'll hear me mention it again and again. I use it all the time. But essentially what I've done is I've gone to Facebook Marketplace and I have searched 10-gallon fish tank. You can start with a 5-gallon, but on Facebook Marketplace, the prices really will probably be the same for either, so why not go bigger? So right away, I'm able to scroll and actually find an $8 10-gallon fish tank, $8 cash only. So if you live here, you could easily message them and pick them up for $8. Now, this may be an absolute ideal situation. You may not be able to find one for $8, but typically when you're on Facebook Marketplace, if this website is supported in your area, you will be able to find 10 gallons from $10 to $15. Let's just go with this one right here. This one is $15, which when we went to petco.com is the exact tank for $13. However, you will have to factor in shipping costs, so that would actually make it more than the tank right here. If you wanted to keep looking, I can almost guarantee that you would find a tank for $10. So since I found that tank for $8, which obviously I would go for first, and then there's one for $15, I'm just going to break even and say that you will likely, if you have Facebook Marketplace, be able to find a tank for about $10 to $15. So with the tally, I will have to write a definite number. Keep in mind that this can vary. You can actually find it for cheaper. So for tank cost, I'll just write down $10. Okay, moving on. We need substrate, and I do not recommend having a tank without it. You really do need it. It allows your betta to forage. It also helps beneficial bacteria to grow and thrive. They mainly live in your substrate and your media filter. They do not live in the water column. So substrate is necessary. Do you have to buy it new or used? You can buy it either way. The substrate in my 5-gallon is brand new. I bought it about 4 years ago. And then about a year ago, I bought the one that's in my 10-gallon, and I bought that one used. And honestly, it probably cost me, because I bought it in a bundle of stuff for really cheap, the substrate really probably cost me less than $5. So something more like this is ideal. Here's some aqua natural gold pearl gravel, 10 pounds. This should be more than enough to cover the entire bottom of your 10-gallon tank. and it is currently $15 on sale. Now, I can actually find this exact gravel and other kinds on Amazon, so I will fly to Amazon very quickly. I will be honest, Amazon has way better results when it comes to something like this. So unless your Petco is just really good, you can find good deals, you have coupons, I recommend Amazon. If Amazon isn't available in your area, you may have to go to a local pet store to purchase Substrate. On Amazon, I can find that exact Substrate for $15, which currently is the same price, but it's on sale, remember? So a lot of times they may not have a sale going. So it's the same price, and that is more than enough. Honestly, $15 is a really good deal, and a lot of times you won't find cheaper unless you buy used, which is still fine. Buying used is all right, so I will fly over to Facebook Marketplace really quickly and search aquarium gravel. Keep in mind that your results will vary where you live. The listings will always be different, but usually you can find some pretty good stuff. So here, if I lived in Georgia, I could go grab this bag. It looks like it's been marked down to $15. So that's probably for all three, but realistically, I would only use this one, and it is actually really nice. And I do believe that that is enough. So likely it's around a 10-pound bag. So again, it's about the same price. Honestly, it might be a little bit cheaper, but since we would only use this one here, it's going to be the same price. So it's $15 for a 10-pound bag of Substrate just about everywhere. And again, you can get any color you want. I do recommend getting natural colors, but there are other colors than just this mix of tans. You can get black, you can get white, you could get just a solid beige or a darker. But honestly, I love mixed Substrate like this. I think it is so beautiful, and it really is a good deal. Okay, moving on to the heater. Bettas live in tropical areas. They have to have a heater in their tank. It is a non-negotiable, so you have to have a heater. I would automatically go to Amazon and start looking. That is honestly my go-to. It is the best place to find good heaters that have really good reviews. The main issue I have with buying a heater used is that a lot of times people don't tell you how long it's been used. You don't know if it's faulty, you don't know if it's just at the end of its life and it's going to break down in a few weeks. So this is one of the things that I do recommend buying brand new. And Amazon is just the best place to find it. If you don't have Amazon in your area, then just check a local online site that you would buy from. Always make sure that this heater is built for the size of your tank. You don't want to get a heater that is only built for a 5-gallon, and you do not want to get a heater that is built for a 20 or 30-gallon. Make sure it matches up with your tank gallon size. So here, automatically, I can find some really good ones. This one has really good reviews, but it's only for a 2 to 5 gallon tank, and I'm looking for up to 10 gallons. Here's a good one. This one varies. It has different sizes, so you would just purchase the right size. Honestly, I think I would go with this one. You can always do more research on your own, but this one has over 6,500 ratings, and it has a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And it is $12 on sale right now. Normally it would be $15, but we'll just write down this price at $12. So for $12, you can buy a really good heater, 5 to 15 gallons. So I could get the 50 watt and it should be fine. So there you have $12 for your heater. Moving on to the tank light, I'm going to show you my favorite one. And I get this one off Amazon as well, and it's pretty inexpensive. I get the 9-watt Hygger brand. And I always get the full spectrum aquarium light because if you buy live plants to put in the tank, they need a full spectrum light. This light essentially just mimics natural sunlight, so it will be able to go through photosynthesis. Even if you're putting fertilizers in your tank, you really do still need this. And I love it anyway because it's brighter. It has a bunch of different settings for brightness. It also has 3 different light modes. Here is the 9-watt. I have this one on both of my tanks. I really love it because the legs on each end can be pulled out or pushed back in just to adjust to the size of your tank. But this one will be perfect and it will rest on the top of the 10-gallon. If you look at the ratings, you can see some examples. There are 3 light settings. You have this one, you have the night mode, and then you have really the whites only. So that is really good. And here is an example of it over someone's tank. It just rests over the top here. For your light, it may be a little bit more expensive. This one is $19, but it is absolutely worth it. Now we have to get a filter. For the sake of this video, I will be showing you exactly what I do, which is a sponge filter. You may have to do a few modifications on this, but really it is quite inexpensive. So for the sponge filter, you will need an air pump, and most of the following supplies you will find for the best price on Amazon. Sometimes you can find a lot on Facebook Marketplace of just a ton of tank things because someone's getting rid of their tank. So you might be able to find a tank and a heater and then an air pump, which I did find something like that once, but it's not extremely common. So we'll just go with this. This one I love. It is really inexpensive. You'll want to purchase the size up to 10 gallons. It's $5. Now you could round up, so I'll round up. And we will have other things to add to this whole filter thing, but you have to have an air pump to have a sponge filter. So with the air pump, you also need Airline tubing. If you don't know how to set up the actual sponge filter, then look up some tutorials online. They're really easy. It's super simple to set up. This is the pack that I recommend right here. I love this one. It's $10. It has everything you need. It has the Airline tubing. It has the accessories. It has the air stone, which is very important. You need that to go inside the final sponge piece, which we will get that in a moment. So that adds on another $10 for this, but it really is valuable and you get a lot of value out of this. It is definitely worth $10. Finally, you will need a sponge filter. Look up sponge filter and you'll be able to find the sponge you need for it. This is the one I recommend right here. I love this one. I bought this one for my tank. Don't get the large up to 60 gallon, get the small up to 10 gallon, unless you get a larger tank, but we're just kind of going on the thought that you will be setting up a 10 gallon. You could also do a 5, the same things apply. So for the cover, again, it's only $5. So if you add it all up for the entire sponge filter setup, it will cost you $21. Now, that may seem like a lot, but honestly, even if you buy a simple filtering system like a hang-on back filter, this one's 16, this one is 20, so really, it's the same price as buying something like this, but the benefit of having a sponge filter is that you will not have to change any cartridges, you won't have to do anything. You put that sponge filter in there, the beneficial bacteria grows on it, it filters for you, and then all you have to do if it seems like it's getting blocked or the sponge is getting a lot of gunk on it, in between water changes when you have that pot full of dirty water before you go dump it, take that sponge out and squeeze it out in that tank water to get all of the debris out. You don't want to rinse it out under the sink water because that can destroy the beneficial bacteria colony in there. So just rinse it out in your old tank water and you will be good to go. That thing will run for years. I've had mine for quite some time and I love them so much. I'm actually getting ready to convert this one to a sponge filter system as well. Once you buy all of this, you will probably want some decor, and you do have some money left over because once you tally everything up, you have $23 left to spend on decor. Now here's the easy way to do it for free. If you want to go around and look for some rocks, if you want to have some larger rocks to put in your tank to create a natural aquascape, you can do this completely for free. You can go out into nature and you can pick up rocks by streams, by bodies of water. Sometimes you can find some really nice rocks. Just make sure that you wash them very well. I would even say pour some boiling water over them, scrub them with baking soda and water. Don't scrub it with soap. Don't scrub it with soap because that can leave the film of soap that is hard to wash off that can actually harm your betta. So scrub it off, wash it really well. I've known a bunch of fish keepers who have just done a lot of things for free to escape their tank with, just from nature. But rocks are the safest. Just make sure where you get them is not sprayed. In some instances, you can also get wood for free as well. Now, I don't recommend just picking up any sticks from your backyard because there can be bugs in there, there can be dirt, there can be all kinds of things, pesticides. So if you're wanting to find wood, I recommend talking to fish keepers who have done it before. They can give you some tips and tricks on how they did it. But if you want to just buy some that you know has been washed and is sanitized and is good to go, except for maybe boiling it yourself or letting it sit, you can go to Amazon. You can find a pretty good piece. You really don't have to have more than one right now, and you don't even have to have that. But if you want to have a nice little medium piece to go in your tank to plant some plants around, then this is probably good for you. Just right here, so that would be $12. You have $11 left to spend on some plants now. Honestly, a lot of you could get plants for free. I have decked out all of my plants completely for free because I know people in my area that have tanks, and eventually those plants grow way too large for their tanks and they're throwing them away anyway. So before you buy, make sure you reach out to fish keeping friends if you have any. Make sure you look for people in your area. You could look up groups on Facebook. You could try to connect with some people locally, because a lot of the time they will be more than happy to give you plants from their tank. You can also search on Facebook Marketplace as well for this. And sometimes you can even buy some from people on Facebook Marketplace for really cheap, but sometimes you can get it for free. So right now, we could end the video and your total could be $89 if you just got the plants for free. But if you do want to buy some plants specifically, there are different sites that you can check. I recommend aquariumcoop.com. That's a really good one. You can also check your local fish store. Now this is honestly the best place because a lot of times they have them on sale. If you have any specialty fish stores, the plants might be a little expensive, but if you have a Petco or PetSmart, check there first, because Petco has actually been getting more aquatic plants lately, and they're pretty inexpensive. They go for around $4 each. You can find some pretty good ones if you want to start with live plants. I recommend Anubis, any type of Anubis, and any type of Java fern. Those grow really well and those are great beginner plants. If you want to buy some fake plants to start out, I always recommend getting the soft ones. They're usually called silk, but you can go on Amazon and search soft aquarium plants and you can find some really good ones. These are good because the leaves are soft. It won't rip your fish's fins. This is a good 2-pack right here as well. These are a little bit harder, but you could probably get away with something like this in the tank, something like this. This is good here, so you could go for something like this. Both of these are $8. That would bring your total up to $97, so you would have a few dollars left. So if you're buying fake plants, you may not be able to buy as many as you could real plants, but it's just up to you. If you want to buy some real ones and you haven't been able to find any for free locally, then you can do quite a bit with $100. As I have shown you today. Remember that sometimes what you were able to find will vary, but I promise you can do a lot with $100. I hope that you found this video helpful. It was definitely fun to set up a little hypothetical tank with you. If you have any more tips and tricks, and if you have been fish keeping on a budget for a while, tell me a little bit about it. I hope you and your fin friends have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.